Good afternoon from Kanazawa, Japan. Now, Japan is full of a lot of strange little museums about quirky little topics and stuff. And I'm going to one here. This is the Japanese Phonograph Museum. I'm a record guy, so I'm excited to go see this. 300 meters down this hot, beautiful road here in Kanazawa. The Kanazawa Phonograph Museum opened in 2001, and the collection includes over 500 phonograph players and 20,000 records, not all of which are on display at the same time.
300. You have phonograph demonstration from 2 o'clock.
2.
Second floor.
Okay.
But
And
first, please go to the third floor.
Start.
Third
Okay.
floor.
Okay. The ticket says 310 yen, but she only charged me 300 yen. She caught herself. She said in English, she said 300 yen. I don't know why. Maybe they're sick of dealing with the 10 yen coins. Anyway, here we go. The museum is very clean and simple and respectful of its antique turntables. The collection includes some of the earliest players from the late 1800s until about 1927, and all the players in this museum are mechanical, not electric. If the power grid failed, you could still have a great time listening to music here.
Edison が1877年に発明した鈴白式蓄音機にたどり着きます。
Displays begin with Thomas Edison's earliest attempts to reproduce sound on wax cylinders, which could be brittle, and then the flat discs, one 3-minute song per side, which ultimately won out. To play a record, you'd wind the crank for power, hopefully enough to make it through the song, and then the little bumps on the spinning record would vibrate the needle. The vibrations became sound waves and would be amplified by routing them through a large horn or through holes in the units themselves. There was no volume control. These were purely acoustic, not electric.
Nice to meet you.
I was met by Mr. Matsuo, who followed me around chatting with me and answering my questions using a Japanese to English app on his phone. He took me down to the second floor to show me where this demonstration was going to be.
ここまで、
Hi.
2時、4時、全部鳴らす。
Ah, so.
All.
Ah, okay, okay. In addition to the horns, and of course the records themselves, one part I especially liked was the collection of needles. Typically you'd use a new needle for every single play, so people would have a little metal box of them. The museum had several cool looking examples, from an era in which product packaging was classy, fanciful, and colorful. 2 o'clock rolled around and I was sat on a bench in front of the row of demonstration phonographs. Mr. Matsuo gave me an English explanation to peruse while waiting. Although there didn't seem to be that many other people in the museum, suddenly there were about 15 of us on the bench. I wasn't allowed to film the demonstration itself, unfortunately, but it involved a guy giving a 30-minute Japanese explanation, which I kind of understood, while playing records on each unit, even the gorgeous wax cylinder machine. The main thing I noticed was that they were very loud and could have quite clear audio quality. I imagine there must have been altercations between neighbors due to the overwhelming volume, but maybe not that many. Phonographs were very expensive. The guy said that back in the day, only one family in the entire prefecture of Ishikawa owned one of the big cabinet-style ones with the gigantic horn. They could cost as much as a small house. The museum gift shop sells CDs of recordings of some of its 78 RPM records. Nice way to spread the music and help keep the museum alive. Well, that was cool. It was not so much an old music museum as actual about the technology and the antique, like the record players themselves. A lot of great players there. Some people that are really keeping alive this old tradition of record players that were 100 years old and more. I hope you enjoyed this trip back in time to the very beginnings of recorded music, thanks to a well-kept and lovingly designed museum. Many thanks to my Patreon supporters who help make these videos possible and who, for as little as $1 a month, can watch new videos at least a week before they're published. Special thanks to Jacob Fatz, Nathaniel Holland, Omeyer, Ray Nichols, and Will Phillips. Also thanks to subscribers to my free weekly email newsletter who can watch new videos a day before they're published. If you'd like to join either one, links are in the video description. And thanks for wandering around with me.